Hey there, welcome back to High Infidelity, the best channel for cheating stories. Like and subscribe to channel for more spicy stories. Now, let's get into today's story video. Wife lied and cheated over our entire relationship. I'm sick to my stomach. Account used just once. I'll explain in more detail later. 32. I found out a few months ago that my wife, 30 of 4 years and 9 years together, had an ongoing affair with a man before and after we had our first kid too. This was heartbreaking, and I did a paternity test, which revealed that the kid is happily mine. I still loved her, and she showed such contrition that we made it through therapy, and we were more open and honest, and things were mending, and trust was slowly returning. We found out she was pregnant about the same time, and she claims it's all her fault, but, well, let's go back to last week. Something happens, and I learn of another time she cheated on me in our relationship before we were engaged but still living together. Moved in after first year of dating. This stirs my heart since we have been absolutely honest with each other about everything, or so I thought. And, for the record, I have been completely loyal throughout. I confronted her about lying about it and demanded that she give me the whole truth about everything, and the floodgates flowed. It turns out she's been with 7 other males this entire time. 2 of them were her exes, others who she said were close friends at the time, and yep. Before we were engaged, after we got married, and after we got divorced, the whole time. Looking back, there were definitely warning signs, but I ignored them due to blind faith and the mistaken belief that I was projecting my insecurities onto her. And that's all she's said so far. There might be more. I'm absolutely conflicted. She'd be on the street right now if it weren't for the kids, but she's a nice mother, and I can't abandon my unborn kid. I still adore her, but my feelings are all over the place. I'm embarrassed and humiliated. She's plainly broken, and she's already phoned the therapist. She claims she's sorry and wants this to work and all the right things, but I simply can't trust her after we went through therapy for the first time and she lied pretty much the whole time. I'm at a loss on what to do. Update. Basically, the whole comment section agreed that my wife is a jerk and a terrible mother, and recommended me to hire a lawyer, get a paternity test on my unborn kid, STD testing, expose her to family/friends, obtain a precise chronology, and so on. All of this is sound advice. I phoned my doctor and scheduled an appointment for a STI test this week. Continued to work with our marital therapist, individually and together looked into paternity testing on unborn kid. I'm in Canada, and it appears like a non-invasive test costs about $1,600, if not more, in comparison to the $200 I paid for my first kid. Regardless of what anybody says, I'll simply wait till it's born. That's a little extravagant for me/us. We have been completely open and transparent about essentially everything since D-Day/2. She has given full access to her phone and everything. Cut off all contact with any AP. I watched as she deleted numbers, blocked Snapchats, etc. She has gone over the timeline multiple times and has begun to write it down with dates and whatever else I have her old phone, which is a lot of text messages between her pals and AP. We'd begun going over it all together so she can put it all together and provide a more thorough chronology. For obvious reasons, she has been nothing but an outstanding wife since, extremely regretful, and has never attempted to play the victim or anything. She accepts full responsibility and swears she will go to any length to repair our marriage. Of course, trust has been shattered, but everything seems to be 100% real because I haven't booted her out of the home. She is now sleeping in the guest bedroom. We called her closest female friend, who was aware of her previous relationships. Wife came clean to her about everything, apologizing for lying to her as well. This buddy is now a supporter of both of us. While we debate the pros and cons of telling more people, whether it's a good idea or not, my wife has allowed/encouraged me to begin flirting with and pursuing other women in a purely physical capacity in the hopes that I'll be able to satisfy any desires/urges that I gave up during our 20s because I stayed faithful while she didn't and got those extra experiences. Our marital therapist even advised something similar or ultimately transitioning to an open marriage that I'm not sure about. But my wife has been part in this as well, practically cheering me on, lol, and even knowing what she's done, I wouldn't be able to sleep with someone else without her approval. My concern is that if things went wrong, she would attempt to use it against me. Thus, I would absolutely want to acquire some form of written permission. Overall, we're going on, and I don't want to divorce her since I still love her. Okay, thoughts? Story 2. Caught my wife, 29 female, cheating on me, 29 male, again after a year. Why do I question my own sanity? Hello to everyone. This is my first post here, and I just wanted to share, gain some ideas, and rant, since I don't have another channel accessible to me right now that allows me to do so. So I really appreciate everyone who chooses to read and express their honest comments from an outside viewpoint. Background: I'm 29 male, my wife is 29 female, and we have 2 lovely daughters under the age of 4. Keep in mind that my wife is depressed, was hospitalized and diagnosed as suicidal at one time. She takes medicine, or should take medication as prescribed. Story: in December 2020, I discovered my wife having an affair. I didn't find out until a month later, January 2022, when my 2-year-old daughter handed me my wife's mobile phone, which was lying out in the living room. The lights illuminated as a result of an incoming text message. I spotted the text message "I love you" as soon as I picked up the phone. My heart sank as I recognized the name. It was a close friend of hers. Not only from that message, but also from previous communications, I felt rage, astonishment, disillusionment, and gloom. I couldn't believe I was in the middle of what I considered a nightmare. I asked my wife a question when I met her with her phone: "What exactly is this? What exactly is going on?" I kid you not, the first thing she says is, "Why are you even looking at my phone?" I became even more enraged as a result. I couldn't believe what she had said. She didn't express regret until much later in our talk. But now that I think about it, her apology wasn't genuine, as shown by the fact that I had to pull it out of her. Even yet, it's not how I would behave if I were in her shoes. In any case, she gives me her side of the story and confirms she had relations with this person on several times. She underlined that she was quite miserable, that she wasn't happy at home, and that I wasn't providing her what she needed, nor was I actually listening to her for a time. In general, she pretended to be the victim, blaming me for her acts. Of course, knowing what I know now, I had no idea how to respond, so I accepted the blame like a fool. I really hated myself for her infidelity. Devastation and heartbreak don't even begin to describe how I felt and how I feel still simply thinking about it. I would not wish this behavior on anyone. 1 month later, I decided that I wanted to continue our relationship and attempt to reconcile, but the only way for it to work was for her to end the affair and ban this person from all social media platforms, messaging apps, and so on. Remove this home wrecker from our family. She did that, and I was there when she called and blocked him on all social media platforms. A year goes by, and although we had some bumps on the road, I felt like things were improving. We continued to attend a couples therapist once a week for around 6-7 months. We concluded the classes believing that we no longer need them and proceeded to put what we had learned into practice. It's presently Saturday morning in February 2022. I got out of bed at 5:30 a.m. to feed our cat. When I returned to our bedroom, I saw her phone was out next to her. I just wanted to put the phone down and go back to sleep until I saw it was the AP account. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. For a brief minute, I considered this to be nothing more than a nightmare. I didn't browse through the messages since they were plenty for me. Everything that I believed had ended a year ago flashed before my eyes. This time, I was cool and collected, and I didn't shout in rage as I did the previous time. I roused her and said, "Who exactly is this? What exactly is going on?" She didn't say anything for 5-10 minutes. There was total quiet. She then goes on to describe it once again. She wasn't happy, she was miserable, and she didn't really get over her emotions for this person. However, he just contacted me to ensure that I was still alive. At that moment, I couldn't believe anything she said. The second opportunity, the sliver of confidence I still had in her, was spat back in my face. She didn't apologize soon away after that. She attempted to play the victim, justifying her actions and claiming it was my fault for believing we didn't need to continue couples counseling after 6-7 months. I went outside for 30 minutes, returned, and stated I'm looking for a divorce. Even though I still love you, I can't keep torturing myself. Since then, I've been questioning myself. My self-esteem has never been so low in my whole life. I feel marriage is important because that is how I was reared. So we're now in the process of hiring a lawyer to help us prepare for the divorce. I'm still processing things, talking to my pals for support and so on. When we divorce, I want to inform her family why we split, rather than her attempting to conceal the facts. But what do you think? Should I do it? I feel obligated to guarantee that they do not believe any falsehoods she may tell to further her own goal. Finally, 1. Why do cheaters try to play the victim when they are caught? 2. Why do cheaters point the blame at the betrayed spouse? 3. Why do I doubt my own sanity when I wasn't the one who cheated? Thank you again to everyone who took the time to read and offer their opinions. I hope everyone who has moved on is in a better mental condition and is with someone who really loves and respects them no matter what happens.